When looking at both Smoke Signals and The Doughboy, one can see how the creators felt about masculinity and native masculinity. The amount of critiquing and time put on masculinity shows the importance of masculinity in our culture and how it permeates every part of our lives. Both characters, Victor and Hunter, have a significant name to the plot and is a great example of our preconceived notion of gender based on biological differences. Thomas's grandmother says, Victor, that means he's going to win. And Hunter is told that he can't have the name for nothing. So before they're even walking around, they have these pressures to be certain things based on their names. Same with their gender. Once they are assigned male, they are considered to be strong, tough, competent, good with tools, and have no emotions except for anger. Their names are a clear, direct example of how masculinity is assigned so early in boys' lives. The fathers in these films have striking similarities. Here are the characters that Victor and Hunter look up to the most, an incredibly significant person in a kid's life, and they are an abusive mess. Victor's father, Arnold, is having trouble moving on from a fire in 1976, and he's dealing with it by drinking alcohol and constantly threatening to disappear. Hunter's father, Hank, has a similar alcohol problem because he had to quit being a pilot to take care of Hunter and never moved on. He cannot think about anything other than being a pilot, which is an unhealthy way to live, and the only times he moves on is hunting, which is the point of tension between the son and the father. They both have abusive tendencies. Both of the fathers die in the film. The main idol of masculinity that these boys are looking up to are either at odds with them for most of the film or dead. Both are films about boys becoming men. The constant flashbacks of Smoke Signals show that Victor has not moved on from his childhood worries and has not fully matured. Hunter is dealing with his mistake from his childhood, and at the end, he has a flashback to him as a kid, but with his current breathing, implying that he is living his childhood mistake again. When he first went out hunting, his outfit humorously didn't fit him. He is trying to be a man, but he's clearly a child. He is trying to fit into society's expectations, his father's expectations, his grandfather's expectations, his friends' expectations, but he is simply faking it because that is the only thing a child can do when trying to be older. Both of the films climax with intense running sequences from the main character. Both are facing the issues that they have refused to deal with because of masculinity. Victor is finally thinking about his father and feeling all the emotions Arnold created, and he is running to man up unlike his father so that he can be dependable. Hunter is running to face and admit his flaws and fears and to not run away. The characters of the films represent different aspects of masculinity. The hunter is more traditional masculinity, very solemn, dirty, living off the land with a bow and arrow. Hunter is constantly afraid of him as if he is the deer he is hunting and soon will be found out to be not masculine enough. His friend and his father represent the way society disciplines ourselves through punishment, mockery, and create a need for acceptance through assimilation. They are constantly comparing themselves to Hank and Hunter and trying to be better and more manly. Hank says, I've been dirty for so long I don't wash up. And then his friend's father says, I think I have dirt in my veins. So not only are they in a constant competition and one-upping each other, the children are supposed to learn from this that dirt is supposed to make you a real man. And many of these interactions are lessons to these boys that are. The fathers show how desperate these boys are for acceptance and affection from them and how often they don't receive it. Victor discusses masculinity as a survival tool against white people, showing that it is not a passive thing but a performance. He is teaching Thomas how to be a real Indian and explaining how to be a native man in this world. You need to change your entire personality, as many people do. Hunter gets lessons on how to be a real native man from his grandfather, and he takes them to heart, following his words till the end. A real hunter is basically a real man, and it is till the end that he is trying to be that. Their relationships with women are slightly different. Smoke Signals has mostly female characters, showing that they're essential for the well being of the characters and our society. Victor literally looks up to his mother. Thomas has a mutual respect with his grandmother. And Velma and Louise have access and power and help Victor and Thomas, but not until after they are shown that they don't need to help them. The fact that Victor and Thomas are really the only male characters other than Arnold shows that women are important to a healthy masculinity. For the doughboy, there is the mother, the two girls who are Hunter's friends' girlfriends, and Jerry. There are a lot of male characters: his father, Hank, his grandfather, his friend's father, the hunter, and there is a more emphasis on these characters and a respect and need for acceptance from Hunter to these characters. The women are more obviously plot devices instead of fleshed out characters. His mother is highlighting the mama's boy trait throughout the film and how it is to be avoided. The two girls are there to highlight the fact that Hunter does not have a girlfriend. Jerry at the beginning is more promising. She is awe inspiring, confident, studying at a college, keeping Hunter on his feet. But then once they kiss, you can see her only to be the emotional support for him, and to have all of her other plot or life fall away. The creators of these films, Sherman Alexie, Chris Eyre, and Randy Redroad, are all native men, so these movies have a slightly more personal component than other movies. Alexie has said that most of his work is based on real life experiences, and Redroad has said that Doughboy was somewhat autobiographical. They are both reflecting on what it meant to be a native boy growing up and how masculinity plays into their lives back then and today. They have slightly different opinions on indigenous cinema. Alexie and Eyre constantly talk about how this film was a political one and nicely fits into the definition of fourth cinema and the cinema of sovereignty. However, Red Road, while not disagreeing with them, has shown wariness to the analysis of this subject so early on as things are still being created. How can we see a pattern from multiple directors when they have only been making for a couple decades? And now to connect with everyone globally is also quite a feat.